Lust is the silent thief that quietly steals the essence of real love. What if I told you that everything you think you know about love is being twisted by a force that has nothing to do with genuine connection? You probably felt it, a relationship that started with undeniable chemistry, that ended in emotional emptiness. Or maybe you've seen people around you jump from one perfect partner to the next, chasing something they can't quite define. Ever wonder why? The truth is, lust, with its intense focus on surface-level desires, has become the counterfeit version of what love was meant to be. It tricks you into believing that the adrenaline rush of attraction is the same as the deep bond that comes from true intimacy. It blinds you to the subtle yet powerful connections that actually make a relationship last. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, lust has become the default mode of affection. But here's the catch. Lust doesn't fulfill, it only leaves you hungrier, craving more, and constantly searching for the next high. If you've ever felt that sense of emptiness after a fleeting physical encounter, you've experienced the hollowness of lust, pretending to be love. The question is, how do we break free from this distorted view? Is it possible to rediscover real love in a world ruled by lust-driven perception? Stick with me as we explore how lust hijacks your ability to connect emotionally, and more importantly, how you can rebuild your perspective on love, one that isn't clouded by fleeting attraction, but built on lasting, fulfilling bonds. By the end of this, you'll not only understand how lust distorts love, but also how to avoid its traps and experience the kind of love that lasts. Lust and love, two words we often use interchangeably, but what if I told you they represent completely different emotional landscapes? Imagine a spark that ignites quickly and burns out just as fast. That's lust. Now think about a deep-rooted connection that grows slowly, nurturing and strengthening over time. That's love. The problem is, in our fast-paced world, lust is often mistaken for love, and the difference gets blurred. So how do you tell them apart? At its core, lust is driven by desire. It's all about attraction, primarily physical, where the focus is on what you want from the other person rather than who they truly are. Lust is intense, urgent, and often fleeting. It thrives on surface-level attraction, and its purpose is immediate gratification. You feel the rush, the excitement, but once the thrill fades, so does the connection. There's no long-term emotional investment in lust. It's about the chase, the moment, the experience. Love, on the other hand, is rooted in understanding and connection. It's not about an instant spark, but the slow-burning fire that deepens as you get to know someone on a much deeper level. Love is about emotional intimacy, trust, and shared experience. Unlike lust, love doesn't seek immediate fulfillment. Instead, it's patient, kind, and compassionate, asking for vulnerability and effort. Where lust focuses on the outward, love penetrates the inward. So why do we confuse? In today's world, the lines between lust and love often get blurred because of how instant and easily accessible lust has become. We're conditioned to want what we see, and social media bombards us with pictures of idealized relationships that look like they're built on love, when in reality they're fueled by lust. This doesn't mean lust is inherently wrong. It's natural, part of being human, but when we mistake it for love, we're left with empty connections and unfulfilled desires. Love doesn't come with a time limit or an expiration date. It's not about finding someone who looks perfect. It's about finding someone you connect with on every level, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. While lust burns bright, love and this understanding of love, beyond the physical, is what will allow us to build meaningful, lasting relationships. Lust is like a mirage in the desert. It looks stunning from a distance, but the closer you get, the more you realize it's empty. At its core, lust revolves around one thing: physical attraction. It's what happens when you're drawn to someone's appearance, the way they look, how their body moves, and how they make you feel in the heat of the moment. There's a magnetic pull, an irresistible force, but that's all it is, a surface-level attraction. This kind of attraction can be exhilarating, no doubt. The rush, the butterflies, the excitement that floods through you the moment you lock eyes with someone you're physically drawn to. But here's the catch. This initial spark isn't built on anything deeper. It's simply a reaction to physical stimuli. And like any physical desire, it fades once the novelty wears off. The attraction may feel intense, but it's fleeting, temporary. Now contrast that with the emotional depth of a long-term connection. When you fall in love with someone, not just their looks, but who they are, their values, their quirks, you begin to see beyond the physical. What was once attractive is now secondary to the emotional bond you've built. True connection is about more than just how someone looks in the moment. It's about how they make you feel, how they support you, how you grow together. Physical attraction may have ignited the initial spark, but it's love that keeps the fire burning long after the initial heat has cooled. Lust doesn't ask for much. It thrives on instant gratification, often driven by impulse and desire. But true love demands effort, patience, and vulnerability. It's built on shared experiences, mutual respect, and emotional safety. When lust fades, love remains, transforming the relationship from something superficial into something profound. That's where the difference lies. Lust is about getting what you want, while love is about building something that lasts, a partnership grounded in more than just physical attraction. So while lust can offer momentary pleasure, it can't compare to the fulfillment of a connection that goes beyond the surface. Love is not about chasing the next thrill, but about nurturing something real and lasting, no matter how long it takes to grow. Lust doesn't just distort how we view love, it changes how we see people. It teaches us to objectify others, reducing them to nothing more than a set of physical features, an image to be admired or desired. Ever caught yourself looking at someone and thinking they're just so hot without considering their thoughts, dreams, or personality? That's the power of lust at work, and it's incredibly dangerous. When lust takes the lead, we start seeing people through a lens that only cares about their appearance. It's easy to get caught up in the surface level attraction, the curves, the smile, the way they dress. The problem is, we forget that they are more than the body they inhabit. When we focus only on someone's physical traits, we fail to acknowledge the complexities of who they are as a person. It's like appreciating a painting for its frame, and not for the art inside. You're missing the heart of what makes them truly unique. This objectification doesn't just affect how we view others. It also impacts how we relate to them. Lust creates an emotional barrier. When you focus on what someone looks like rather than who they are, you disconnect from the emotional intimacy that makes relationships meaningful. It's easy to get caught in the heat of the moment and forget that the person standing in front of you has their own experiences, fears, and hopes. They become a tool for your pleasure, not a partner in a shared journey. This emotional disconnection can lead to dehumanization. Instead of seeing people as whole, complex individuals, we begin to treat them as objects, things to possess, use, or discard once the thrill has worn off. The result is a cycle of shallow interactions, where no one truly feels seen or valued. Lust in this sense doesn't just erode love, it devalues human connection itself. So what happens when lust is removed from the equation? We begin to see people for who they are, flaws, strengths, insecurities, and when we take the time to truly know someone, to appreciate them beyond the superficial, we open the door to genuine emotional intimacy. That's where real connection happens. Not in the fleeting moments of physical attraction, but in the deep, lasting bonds we create when we treat each other with respect and understanding. Ever wondered why real relationships often feel so disappointing after the initial rush? The truth is, lust fuels expectations that reality just can't keep up with. In today's world, we're bombarded by images of love and desire, carefully curated by the media. These portrayals aren't just unrealistic, they're downright misleading. They sell us an ideal that can never truly exist, creating a distorted view of what real intimacy and connection look like. We've all seen it: movie scenes where two people meet, share an intense kiss, and immediately fall into a whirlwind romance that seems to last forever. Social media only amplifies this fantasy, showcasing perfect couples who live the dream life, vacations, designer outfits, and seemingly flawless relationships. What these images fail to show are the everyday struggles, the mundane moments, the growth, and the work it takes to nurture a real connection. Instead, they give us a shiny, polished version of love that's more about spectacle than substance. This creates an impossible standard to live up to. We begin to think that love should be easy and effortless, that every relationship should be filled with constant passion and excitement. When things inevitably calm down and the initial thrill fades, people start to question their relationship, wondering if something is wrong. In reality, the deeper connections that make relationships last don't come from unrelenting passion. They come from understanding, compromise, and shared experiences. Lust convinces us that if the fire dies down, then love must be dying too. But the truth is, lasting love evolves. It's not always about intense emotions. Sometimes it's about quiet companionship, mutual respect, and the comfort of knowing you're building something together. This skewed expectation also affects intimacy. Lust leads us to believe that physical attraction is the foundation of intimacy, But true intimacy goes far beyond the physical. It's about emotional vulnerability, trust, and the ability to connect on a deeper level. When we mistake lust for love, we misunderstand the essence of intimacy, chasing fleeting physical experiences rather than building emotional depth. So how do we break free from these unrealistic expectations? We need to recognize that real relationships are not about living up to some perfect standard. They're about embracing the imperfections, the growth, and the quiet moments of connection that make love truly fulfilling. When we let go of the fantasy and embrace the reality, we create the space for love to grow, evolve, and thrive in a way that lust never could. Lust, when left unchecked, can turn even the most promising connection into a one-sided transaction. It's not about mutual care, emotional investment, or shared experiences. It's about getting what you want. Lust thrives on instant gratification, where the only goal is personal pleasure. The moment you prioritize your own desires over the well-being of another person, you've fallen into the trap of selfishness. This pursuit of personal satisfaction often leads to a disregard for the other person's needs. When lust is in control, it isn't concerned with emotional depth or supporting your partner through difficult times. It's fixated on what feels good in the moment, without any real consideration of the long-term impact on the relationship. You begin to focus more on how they make you feel, physically or emotionally, rather than how you can make them feel or nurture their growth. Lust in this sense turns love into a means to an end, rather than a shared journey. This imbalance shifts the dynamic in the relationship. One person is often giving, while the other is only taking. Lust turns love into a transaction where both parties aren't equally invested. It's a constant cycle of seeking personal satisfaction with no real emotional exchange. Over time, this creates frustration and resentment. One person feels neglected or exploited, while the other is caught up in the pursuit of fleeting pleasure. The scales tip, and what once was a balanced, fulfilling connection begins to feel like a one-way street. The problem with this selfishness is that it erodes trust, which is the foundation of any relationship. When you're in a relationship driven by lust, trust becomes secondary to your own desires. You stop being emotionally available for your partner, and instead you focus on getting what you want without giving back. This imbalance can lead to emotional distance, where neither partner feels fully seen or heard. Love, on the other hand, is about reciprocity. It's about being there for your partner just as much as they are there for you. It's about sharing, supporting, nurturing each other. True intimacy isn't about seeking personal pleasure. It's about creating a space where both people can give and receive freely. When you move past the selfish drive of lust, you open the door to a deeper, more balanced connection, one that isn't built on taking, but on building together. If you're tired of feeling trapped by the grip of lust and ready to take control of your mind, body, and spirit, I have something for you. Introducing 7 Biblical Secrets to Destroy Lust, an ebook designed to guide you on a journey of spiritual healing, personal growth, and lasting freedom. Lust is a powerful force, one that doesn't just affect your relationships, but it can also cloud your judgment and emotional well-being. But the good news is, you don't have to keep living under its control. With the wisdom found in this ebook, you'll uncover practical, biblical strategies to break free from lust's hold and experience a deeper connection with God and others. In 7 Biblical Secrets to Destroy Lust, you'll find powerful scripture-based insights, learn how to apply biblical teachings to overcome temptation and restore purity in your life. Actionable steps. This isn't just theory, it's a step-by-step guide to breaking free from the chains of lust and rebuilding a life of integrity and emotional peace. Spiritual strength. Discover how strengthening your relationship with God can help you fight temptation and build a foundation of lasting love and respect. True freedom. Experience what it feels like to no longer be controlled by desires that steal your peace, your relationships, and your future. This ebook is for anyone who is ready to move beyond the cycle of lust and experience the freedom and clarity that only a deep spiritual connection can provide. Whether you've struggled with lust for years or are simply looking for a healthier way to navigate relationships and desire, the biblical principles shared in this book will help you regain control and live a life that honors God and your true self. And the best part, you can start your journey today. The link to purchase your copy of 7 Biblical Secrets to Destroy Lust is right in the video description and pinned in the comments. Don't wait another moment. If you're serious about overcoming lust and stepping into a life of true freedom, this ebook is exactly what you need. Take the first step toward spiritual and emotional healing now. Click the link below to get your copy and begin applying these powerful biblical secrets in your life today. Lust isn't just a fleeting physical sensation. It leaves a deeper, more insidious impact on your emotional and mental well-being. While the excitement may feel good in the moment, it often comes with a baggage of anxiety, guilt, and shame that can linger long after the intensity fades. The emotional high of lust can quickly turn into an emotional crash, leaving you questioning your self-worth and the integrity of your relationships. Have you ever felt that sinking feeling after a moment of intense attraction or a physical encounter that seemed to promise everything, only to leave you feeling empty afterward? That emptiness is the emotional fallout of lust-driven action. In the moment, lust feeds into your desire for instant gratification. But once the moment passes, it doesn't provide the emotional satisfaction that real connection offers. Instead, you're left with a sense of disconnection, wondering if something is missing or if you made a mistake. This emotional void only intensifies the deeper the involvement, especially if the connection was built on physical attraction rather than mutual emotional investment. The guilt that follows is a common byproduct. You may begin to question whether your intentions were pure, if you were simply seeking validation, or if your actions were motivated by selfish desires rather than a true emotional connection. This guilt can spiral into shame, leading to negative self-judgments and feelings of inadequacy. You start believing that you're not worthy of deeper, more meaningful love, that the shallow connections you're pursuing are all you deserve. This belief can distort how you view yourself and your future relationships, perpetuating a cycle of seeking external validation while feeling increasingly disconnected from your true emotional needs. But the most damaging impact of lust is the lack of emotional fulfillment that follows. Lust promises excitement and pleasure, but it fails to provide the deep, nourishing connection that love offers. This emotional hunger leaves you seeking more, chasing after the next high in an attempt to fill the void. However, because lust is based on surface-level desires, it can never satisfy the emotional intimacy you truly crave. Eventually, the pursuit of lust leaves you feeling unfulfilled, as it only deepens your emotional isolation, leaving you yearning for something real, but unsure of how to find it. True fulfillment comes not from momentary pleasure, but from building relationships that are emotionally enriching, balanced, and rooted in understanding. When you begin to let go of the constant pursuit of lust and embrace deeper connections, you create the emotional safety and fulfillment that lead to lasting happiness. Lust might offer you instant pleasure, but it comes at the cost of something far more precious: trust. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to forget that real relationships are built on the foundation of emotional security and long-term commitment. Lust thrives on short-term desires, but love is about long-term investment. When you chase immediate gratification, you risk undermining the very thing that makes a relationship last: trust. Think about it. Lust makes promises that sound sweet in the moment. You feel desired, you feel wanted, and that rush is intoxicating. But what happens once the thrill fades? Lust leaves behind a sense of emptiness, and that emptiness can push you to look for more. This short-term focus on pleasure doesn't allow room for deeper emotional connection or true intimacy. Over time, the pursuit of fleeting satisfaction begins to erode the trust that binds two people together. In relationships where lust is the driving force, commitment often becomes optional. Why invest time, energy, and emotion in something that can't promise instant results? Lust-driven decisions usually prioritize physical attraction over emotional depth, leading to a constant cycle of seeking the next high. Without emotional investment, it's impossible to truly commit to someone. Lust might bring people together, but it's trust and commitment that keep them together. As you give in to lust-driven impulses, you inadvertently make choices that destabilize the relationship. Secrets, dishonesty, and the lack of emotional openness start to creep in. Lust thrives in secrecy. It thrives on the thrill of hiding things or pursuing desires outside the relationship. But that kind of behavior breeds instability. Trust is fragile. It can take years to build and mere moments to destroy. Once trust is broken, the foundation of any relationship crumbles. So how does love stand apart from this? Love, unlike lust, is about showing up day after day, not just physically but emotionally and mentally. It's about investing in someone, not because they satisfy your needs, but because you've committed to them, flaws and all. True love isn't about instant gratification. It's about building a future together, being present through the highs and lows, and creating a bond that can weather any storm. Lust's false promises may entice, but only love offers the deep emotional connection that makes relationships not just survive but thrive. In a world where lust is often mistaken for love, it can be tough to differentiate between the two. You might find yourself caught in the whirlwind of intense emotions and physical attraction, only to feel confused when things settle down. So how can you recognize true love when it's standing right in front of you? The answer lies in the emotional connection that transcends the physical. True love isn't about fireworks that burn out quickly. It's built on a steady, consistent emotional bond that deepens with time. One of the most telling signs of genuine love is emotional intimacy. You don't just enjoy each other's company, you share it. True love is about connecting on a deeper level, where both partners feel safe to be vulnerable. You talk about your fears, your dreams, your mistakes, and your successes, knowing that the other person will listen, understand, and support you without judgment. This emotional closeness creates a foundation of trust and respect that lust simply cannot offer. Another key sign of real love is empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of the other person. In a loving relationship, you care about your partner's well-being and emotional state. You don't just want to be around them for how they make you feel, but because you genuinely care about who they are. In contrast, lust is often one-sided, driven more by what you can get than by what you can give. Love, however, is about mutual care and concern, about helping each other grow and supporting each other through the challenges of life. Love goes beyond the physical attraction. While lust is often rooted in a desire for physical closeness and pleasure, love builds deeper intimacy that is not just about the body, but about the soul. It's about connecting through shared experiences, nurturing each other's dreams, and celebrating each other's growth. The physical part of love can be beautiful, but it's the emotional intimacy that creates the bond that lasts. When the excitement of lust fades, what remains is a strong connection, one built on trust, respect, and emotional safety. So when you're seeking to recognize true love, look for the signs of a deeper connection. Does your partner care about your well-being beyond the surface? Do they make the effort to understand your emotions? Do they support you in your growth? And do you feel truly seen and heard? These are the signs of love that lust can never replicate, because true love is built on something far more lasting than mere attraction. Breaking free from the grip of lust isn't just about resisting temptation. It's about healing and rebuilding the foundation of your relationship. If you found yourself caught in lust-driven behaviors that have damaged trust or led to emotional disconnection, the good news is that healing is possible, but it requires more than just stopping the cycle. It requires an intentional effort to rebuild a relationship based on love, respect, and mutual understanding. The first step in healing is recognizing the damage lust can cause. Lust may provide instant gratification, but it often leaves behind emotional scars that can undermine the trust and connection in a relationship. If your relationship has been fueled by lust, you may have experienced moments of emotional emptiness or disconnection when the initial attraction fades. To rebuild, it's important to acknowledge these patterns and make a conscious decision to change. The healing process begins with this awareness, along with the commitment to create a relationship that is deeper than surface-level attraction. Moving past lust-driven behaviors requires a shift in mindset. It's about learning to value emotional intimacy over physical satisfaction. This doesn't mean that physical attraction is unimportant. It's simply about understanding that a lasting connection is based on much more than just the physical. When both partners prioritize emotional well-being, vulnerability, and genuine connection, the relationship becomes a safe space for both to grow. This is where true healing begins. Cultivating love through respect, empathy, and mutual understanding is essential for long-term relationship success. Respect means acknowledging each other's boundaries, feelings, and individual needs. It's about treating each other with kindness and fairness, even when things aren't perfect. Empathy allows you to truly understand your partner's emotions and experience. Instead of seeing them through the lens of what they can give you, you begin to see them as a whole person with their own struggles, dreams, and desires. When you both practice empathy, it deepens the connection and strengthens the bond. Mutual understanding goes beyond just hearing each other. It means truly listening and responding in a way that supports each other's growth. In a healthy relationship, both partners work together to create an environment of emotional safety and support. This kind of relationship isn't built on lust or short-term desires. It's built on a shared commitment to each other's happiness, growth, and well-being. When you move past lust and cultivate these deeper elements of love, you not only rebuild trust, but also create a stronger, more resilient relationship. The journey may take time, but with patience, effort, and a focus on emotional intimacy, you'll find that the love you build will be far more fulfilling than any fleeting physical attraction ever could be. As we've explored throughout this video, lust can distort our understanding of love, leading us to chase temporary pleasure at the cost of long-lasting emotional fulfillment. It tricks us into believing that the intense physical attraction we feel is all there is to a meaningful relationship. But in reality, lust leaves us empty, disconnected, and stuck in unhealthy cycles. The emotional toll it takes on both ourselves and those we care about can be overwhelming. The truth is, if left unchecked, lust doesn't just impact our relationships, it slowly chips away at our mental and emotional well-being, preventing us from experiencing the deep, fulfilling love we were meant to enjoy. But there's hope. Moving past lust and building a relationship grounded in love, trust, and mutual respect is not only possible, it's the kind of love that lasts. By recognizing the signs of lust and committing to a deeper, more intentional connection, we can build relationships that stand the test of time. It takes patience, vulnerability, and a shift in how we view intimacy, but the rewards are beyond worth it. If you're tired of letting lust control your life, if you want to experience the kind of love that is truly fulfilling, one that brings peace, emotional security, and deeper connection, then it's time to make a change. And I want to help you take that first step. I've created 7 biblical secrets to destroy lust before it destroys you, to guide you in overcoming the powerful grip of lust and building a life rooted in true love. This ebook will give you the spiritual insights and practical tools you need to break free from lust-driven behaviors and experience the deep, lasting freedom you've been craving. If you're ready to start living with emotional and spiritual clarity, click the link in the video description or in the pinned comment to grab your copy. Don't let lust control your relationships any longer. Take control of your journey toward lasting love today.